Hey, welcome back to Function to Flourish. Here with Kevin. We're on part 4. Part 3, we had talked about the phone call, and that was hard. Again, Kevin, thank you for sharing. I just want to thank you. Here we go. I want to set up this question. You said earlier in part 3 about the processing. We don't do that enough. And I think to myself, when I heard you say that, in our ages now, I think that we do fairly good at processing. Meaning me and you at this age.
Yeah.
I mean, not me and you. Me. I do good at processing better at this age. 10 years ago, I didn't even know, I couldn't spell the word processing, let alone try to do it. But I heard, even in part 1, part 2, and part 3, I heard a lot from you that said, I had to learn to process things early. And as I was raising the children, as I was going through my marriage, as I was doing this, and then when we got to the phone call, you said we drove from Placerville to here, and we talked.
Yeah.
What I heard was we were processing.
Yeah.
But then we ended session 3 with you saying we didn't know what to do. And so I cut you off, but I bet you a nickel the next words you were going to say were, we had to process it. So now we've gotten the phone call. Joseph is passed.
Mm-hmm.
How did you start processing it?
So there's 2 things to that. So the process piece, Jeanette and I both are involved in program. We both have daily inventories. We have sponsors. We have people we lean on. So we have some things we do to be kind of just okay where we are. So with Joseph, what started happening was, it turns out there's a business to death. There's a lot of business stuff that has to happen. When my dad passed, I went through some of it, but it's different. Like, I was still upset when my dad passed, and there were still emotions and feelings, but my dad was almost 80.
So in theory, he had lived a good life.
There was nothing left to be said between my dad and I. Like, he and I were on great terms.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
And I really thought about that. So when my dad passed, and there's business, house, car stuff, blah.
Yep.
Right? Well, when you pass away the way Joseph passed away, there's the medical examiner, and then the sheriff's department, and then having to deal with the house he was in because it was a rental, and all of these,
the belongings,
the business pieces, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of just, it's just matter of fact stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care, you feel terrible, we need this done. That piece, the girlfriend Joseph had, right? Like, trying to, like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
So the processing piece is Jeanette and I have gotten over the years to where we really lean on each other. Like, we self-check, like, hey, am I nuts? Does this sound right? And we'll both kind of lean in, and then we'll rely on the outside too, and try to do things like that. But when it came to Joseph, it was really a lot of the parts and pieces were, there was a lot of guilt of feeling relieved. And so when we talk about now, it wasn't so much Joseph, right? Like, that was, I would say it was done, but that was Joseph.
Yeah.
Now it was like, okay, so how does Kevin feel about this? And one of the things they talk about in shameless plug for Purple Resolve.
Come on.
They talk about mindfulness, and I had started doing mindfulness work years ago.
Yeah.
That sponsor who got me into the men's work, that's where I picked up on mindfulness. And that's where this stuff comes from, is finding that quiet place, like, okay, this is all going on. We're not in denial. We're not saying that this isn't awful and miserable. This isn't the worst thing a parent should ever have to do. But I could find that place inside and be like, okay, connect with God, like, all right. One of the biggest challenges for me was, I got sick a few years ago, and I remember laying in the ICU and I was talking to God because I had a little free time. while you're laying there, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, I'm in recovery and I'm doing the deal and I'm trying to do good stuff. This So like, what am I doing with this now? And then I asked the same question when Joseph passed. I sat down and God and I had a little conversation. Like, I don't get this. Like, I'm not saying I didn't think it might happen, but I don't get it. Like, that's a bright kid. I've seen lots of people get into recovery. I've seen lots of people worse turn their lives around. What's the message here?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about this, when you came to my office and I shared about this, is like, I'm okay telling Joseph's story, because if I can talk about him and talk about what Jeanette and I did, what we walked through, and if it helps one person, then Joseph didn't pass in vain. Like, this was worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the other challenges here is the tools they give us, all the things they talk about, they do work.
Yeah.
You know, they all do work. It's just that wave of grief that comes, and it's a wave.
And it's not just one wave.
And it comes to the courage to be able to sit there and let it break over you.
Beautiful, beautifully put.
Like, okay, like, let's, and being okay, like, you know what? I'm having a terrible day.
Yeah.
I'm having a terrible day. I don't know how to people.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let this go through and being okay. But it's the knowing that that's what's going on. And it's the reality of the fact that this isn't forever. Right? It's been a few months since Joseph passed. Jeanette and I still, it's a little bumpy, right? Here and there. Like we think about him, or we talk about him, or we got his cell phone back from the medical examiner. And Joseph and I haven't really talked a whole lot in the last few months. And there was a video from, I don't know, a couple of weeks before he passed.
Okay.
And it was funny, because I sat and I cried for a little bit, because I was going through his phone. I was trying not to be that guy, right? Like, these are Joseph's conversations.
Yeah.
I'm not the snoopy parent. I don't know. I'm not trying to dig through your phone.
Yeah. So we're trying to connect.
But it's like, try to find that, like, how was he?
Yeah.
Like, and I found this video, and it's 16 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's just him being a goof, right? It's a selfie video, and he's talking about people in Minnesota and how they talk, and he's just being a goof. And I was like, that's him.
That's him.
That's that little guy, like, in that 16 seconds. So it helped me to see that, okay, like, he was always there.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we talk about that process piece, that's the part where it's like, okay, you know, this is tragic and it's an unfortunate, and it was a mob.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was always there. And I think it's just, some people are on that path, and I'll share this little story.
Okay.
When I first got, I went to treatment in Hawaii, and I got out of treatment, graduated, had my little certificate, because I went to military center. Said I graduated. About a week after, one of the guys I went through treatment with committed suicide, and I remember going to my sponsor, and I was stunned.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 23 years old. I'd just kind of gotten that glimmer of hope that, hey, there's maybe a better life than the path you were on, because that's the path I was on.
Yeah.
And this kid, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Answers, presented a path, still did this. And my sponsor was beautiful, as he looked at me and says, you know, some people have to die from this to remind the rest of us how serious it is. And it comes back to that none of it's in vain. They're lost and they're tragic, but it's not in vain. And I have never forgotten those words.
Yeah.
And I've shared them. I can't tell you with how many countless people that everybody's going to struggle.
Yeah.
everybody's going to struggle with something. We talk about it, and
Yep.
you never know what's going on with people when you see them, because none of us hang that on the outside, right? People come up and ask things like, "Hey, anything I can do for you?" And I'm like, I don't know what I need.
I don't even know what I need myself.
I have no idea. I don't know what I need. I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to it. Thank you. Right. And I know that they're trying to process that information, right? Like talking about process. So you get exposed to this, like somebody in your formation or somebody commit suicide. I don't know what to do. No one knows what to do. I'll just say that. No one knows what to do. The best you can do is the best you can do.
Yeah.
You find the message in that, and then you share their story, like, hey, this is what was going on, and then maybe reflect.
Yeah.
Could we have intervened? Could have. One of the things I had to talk about with my boys when they came to the house, because this is the one reoccurring theme I heard more often than not.
This is after
Joseph passed.
Okay, with your boy.
After Joseph passed, I had this conversation with my boys, and everybody, because Joseph had 5 different Facebook profiles, herds of people I had no idea who they were. Thank God for clever kids who know how to hack into Facebook and talk to people.
Yep.
Because they all came to his service. And let me share that piece too. This is a divine piece, and I talk about how things happen for a reason, and there's a message in everything. So after Joseph passed, we drove to Tahoe, and Jeanette and I sat in our across from the driveway of the house we lived in where Joseph grew up, and we had agreed. We said, we're going to scatter Joseph's ashes at Cave Rock. Totally illegal, not allowed to do it, don't care. We're going to do some ghetto hood stuff, and we were going to make it
Get it out.
So we cried, and then we drove up to Cale Park. It's where the kids did all their after-school stuff and did all that, and Jeanette and I kind of walked around. I coached the kids soccer there, reflected, cried some more. There's a pavilion there. Looks over the lake, looks over the soccer field, and I'm like, I wonder. So we walked inside, and we're like, can we rent that pavilion? And we told them who we were, and we told them about our kids, and they were like, it's yours.
Right on.
And I said, awesome. So we scheduled Joseph's service there at Tahoe at Cale Park, where he spent all of his time as a kid.
Yeah.
Neptune Society called us a couple of days later and said, hey, great news. We offer now that we scatter ashes in Tahoe. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Saves me from going to jail. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Yeah.
And then we said, so not that I care, lie, not that I care, but whereabouts you scatter at? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's this little spot. You may not know about it. If you drive around as you're going to South Shore, there's a spot, a boat ramp right there, right at Cave Rock, and that's where we scatter the ashes.
Whoa. Surprise, surprise.
Okay, thank you. Right? Got it.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Got it. So my job, right? My job from here. So really tie the story up. So all the people that talked to Joseph were like, I wish my last conversation with him had been better. Because the conversations were, you got to get out of my house, or
get off my couch,
or get away from me, or whatever, right? What I heard from his brothers was, he would call and text and we wouldn't call him back. And I'm like, okay. I said, but let me help you, because nothing you could have said or done would have changed this outcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, because a lot of us feel like like that December phone call. I cannot tell you because it's all typed.
Yep.
So I can pull up on my phone right now.
Yep.
And I'll show you that conversation.
Not something that we're proud of, I'm assuming.
And I look through those words and I'm like, I could have been better.
Yeah.
And so what I take from that is, yeah, I could have been better. And what my charge is now is I can be better.
Amen.
Right? I can take this lesson, because this is life's lesson. Me getting sober, me having a pancreas that's a jerk, me walking this path with my son. These are all life lessons that I can take from here and share with you.
Amen. Hey, I want to take a break, because I think that the reality is you talked about we just began the conversation, section 4, on processing. And I think that you beautifully demonstrated that for us, on how you processed a lot of stuff. And you shared some very intimate, when you were in front of the house in Tahoe, when you were in the park, I spent some time crying here, spent some time crying. I got it. I want to come back. I want to do another section, because I think that something that you can bring to the table that all of us are on the edge of our chair waiting on, and that is, people want to help. You touched it.
Huh?
Hey, what can I do for you? I don't know what I can do for myself, let alone tell you. I want to work through that with you. Understand next time we come back. Why? Because I think that we all are well-wishers. We all want to see people be better. We all want to care for people. We don't want to see their heart hurting. We don't know what to do. And sometimes that can be worse for those who are hurting than it can help. And so we're going to revisit that next time.
Awesome.
Hey, to all of you out there, thank you for being here. Again, I hope you come back for the next one when we start talking about what can help, what cannot help when it comes to caring for those who are in a matter of grief and loss. I hope that you'll come back and join us the next time that we talk to Kevin. Until then, we'll see you soon.